All right, guys. Thank you so much. Brendan, thank you so much for being with us. Once again, we're always excited to have you on the show. Now, I want to talk all things expand investing, but I can't ignore the fact you've been here for just a short amount of time and you've already started taking advantage of rev share and attraction, helping to impact people's lives. I'm curious, how's that going for you?
Man, it's been great. I mean, we had a pretty big icon in the industry last week on Friday join with us, and then another independent brokerage joined with us today. Got a bunch of people in the pipeline. I've had a ton of people join with us already. I'm super excited about it, man. It's the EXP 2.0, and obviously I'm not there yet because I'm new with some of the big downlines, but if you know me, you know I think in abundance, and I'm all about sharing what I know, what I've learned, and I'm going to talk a little bit about recruiting and retention. Coming up, we're going to do a call, and I'm going to talk about some of the things that I'm doing, some of the things that are working. So one thing I keep hearing from everybody is they're saying no one's ever explained EXP to me the way that you have,
Hmm.
and I think that has been a catalyst to my growth in the short time that I've been here. So I'm again, anything that I can share that's going to help. I'm always willing to do that.
I want to ask you that about that, but you said, and I'll share with everybody. So Tuesday, February 11th, Brendan is doing a free session on recruiting and retention. That's 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll do that with him, and again, that's Tuesday, February 11th. So I want to ask you about that. So you said you hadn't heard anybody share about EXP, or they hadn't heard anybody share about EXP quite the way that you had. What's different in your take on it?
So I think that number one, I don't recruit, I invite, and I think that there's a big difference. If you just think about that as a play on words, when someone invites you to something versus recruiting you, it's a completely different conversation. And
Yeah.
I think that for a long time, a lot of people were recruiting people. People don't want to be recruited, they want to be invited. And I think the operational excellence that EXP has, we don't talk about enough. We don't talk about like all the stuff that you're doing, fast cap, the stuff with the university, and then the operational excellence around transactions, around brokerage support. It's so weird to me that prior to being here, no one told me how good it was. Like I had to find out on my own. And I mean, to Leo's credit, Leo sold me on that, and he's not let me down. But neither has any of his teams. But I think one of the things that I've talked a lot to people about is the support, is the pain points that we have of running a real estate business that EXP takes away from us. And no one, for the most part, had explained that to me very well, except for Leo. And now that I've been here for a couple of months and I understand it, I'm able to translate that. And over and over and over again, people are like, no one's told us that. And so I think that I think people that have been in EXP for a while, maybe they just don't think about it because they have it every day and they kind of forgot what it was like pre EXP, so they don't really talk about the operational excellence, but that's one thing I talk about a lot.
Yeah, it's very small details sometimes that really surprise people. We had a brokerage join us, and the broker owner, who's actually an old friend of mine, shared that he was just delighted in the fact that he was able to get support like that. Like literally, our SLA, I don't know if it's still there, but for the longest time, it was like 35 seconds or something crazy
It's
like
under
that
a minute.
to get in
Yeah.
front of a support person. It's still under a minute,
Yeah.
but just try doing that out even in a live bullets in-person brokerage. Try doing that. You're not going to get support that quickly. And then being able to get paid at the table as quickly as we can do that, even giving you advances on your earned revenue share through our system. It's just crazy amounts of really vital pieces of the puzzle that other brokerages haven't yet solved, that we have, that, to your point, maybe we don't do a great job about talking about it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So when you're out there talking to folks, I'm curious, how are you getting these conversations started with them? What are you doing in terms of purposeful, proactive outreach?
So I will tell you, Brian, for the most part, people are reaching out to me. And
Mm.
that comes from years and years of giving away massive value to the market and not asking for anything in return. Uh, but if I do strike up a conversation, um, I come from a standpoint of you've probably heard about it, you've probably been pitched on it, but has anyone told you about EXP 2.0? And if not, I just want to have a high level conversation with you about it and forget what you heard. Just let me tell you through my lens and my experience because whether a myth or a rumor or whatever means absolutely nothing from a standpoint of what I've actually experienced. I just want to have a conversation with you and tell you what my experience is. And it may be a fit or it may not be a fit for you. But I'd love to share my experience with you. And then you're going to make your own decision as a business person, what makes the most sense. But that seems to be that strikes curiosity. And most people who are entrepreneur minded will say, yeah, I'm interested in having a conversation. And at no point do I sell. I just listen and explain what I think the benefits are and where it would work for them in their business. It's not difficult. Where you go off the track is you try to sell.
Hmm. Yeah. So asking questions about their goals, what they're trying to accomplish, and then providing insight as to how you or EXP could help.
Well, what their pain points are, right? Like, I mean, the brass tacks is, are you going to be better over here or where you're currently at? For most people, they're going to be better over here, but we have to base it on what they want and not what we want. So it comes down to what are their pain points and do we have the ability to solve them? And in most cases, I find that EXP does.
That's awesome. Anything else you want to tease about Tuesday session before I switch gears on you?
I think one of the places that we fall down on is running a real estate team is the onboarding process. And we have gotten really neurotic about it down to we follow a step-by-step manual for every single new recruit, which I've spent years and lots of money on refining. So if you show up to the call, I'm going to give everybody our onboarding manual for free. So that's a one give back that I'm going to give you in exchange for you showing up and giving me your time.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you, man. Thank you for
Yeah,
doing that. All right.
absolutely.
I want to switch gears though, because while I've got you, I want to talk to you about expand and investing, both as a real estate agent, becoming an investor, and then also to working with investors. So we have the first in-person mastermind coming up February 26th in Dallas at the Virgin Hotel. And if you are interested, you can go to expelevatecoaching.com and find out more details about that. You can also sign up, and then our first virtual mastermind is also February 13th. So we're going to do a little groundwork in anticipation of the 26th. So I'm curious about your journey. First off, you want to just share a little bit about your journey as an investor?
Yeah, so I got into real estate myself specifically just to become an investor. And I thought, I mean, that's why I got my license. I thought everyone in real estate invested in real estate. That's why I got my license. And I quickly found out that not to be the case. And man, I just, coming in the business in '08, where I saw everybody's business absolutely tank and they didn't have a plan B and they didn't have any assets. And their asset was going out and selling more houses. Um, and again didn't have a plan B, didn't have a retirement set up. That's why I really wanted to invest in real estate at an early age. And what it's done for me in my business is I wouldn't be here talking to you if I did not have a really large, strong investment side of our business. I mean, it has propelled us to do things that have not been done in this industry in a very long time.
Yeah. And I know in the content that we have for the program, we have some of the conversations we've been having lately with agents recorded. And one in particular, actually a couple of them deal with this sort of negative mindset that I hear quite often when it comes to becoming an investor is, I would if I had the money. Do you want
Yeah.
to talk a little bit about that thought?
Yeah, so it's funny is I was on a sales meeting today with someone that's in my downline talking to all of her agents, and this question came up. When I first started in real estate, I did not have the money and I did not have the credit. And one of the things we teach you in expand investing is how you invest in real estate without having money.
Yeah.
Um, which is in most cases, a lot of investors, that's where they start. So I think there's multiple ways that you can get into a deal without your own capital. In fact, most deals that I get into I don't have my capital in them at all. So that's one of the biggest myths that's out there, is that you need a bunch of money to get into real estate investing. That could not be farther from the truth. And that's one of the things we're going to teach you how to do.
Yeah, and we have partners that are part of the program that can help with that. And you had them do a simple exercise of going to Facebook. Do you want to share with the audience here what you had them
Yeah,
do?
I mean, so it's like, I always say this: good deals find money. If you can go out into the market and find good deals, which you probably can already, but if not, we can show you multiple ways to do that. But like, if you were to go on Facebook right now as an agent and just put "who wants to invest in a real estate deal with me," and put that on your timeline and see how many people respond to that, you will understand what I'm talking about. There's so many people out there that want to invest in a real estate deal, that want to invest in a real estate deal with you, or will put the capital up to do a real estate investment deal with you, that's in your network that you're not even asking. And that's what that, every single time we do that, that's what that example proves.
Yeah, I'm one of them, right? I'm not selling in my day to day now, and so I'm not out in the market. I don't know what deals are out there, and so somebody who is a simple scout for me, man, that would take a lot of burden off my shoulders and get me into some properties a lot quicker. Um,
Absolutely.
so with investing and expand, what are the other things that you see that hold agents back aside from the money?
It's a limited belief, limiting belief. I think it's kind of crazy is that what's wild is almost every agent that I've ever talked to has done the investor's job for them, but not been the investor. So they've gone out, found the property for the investor, told them what renovations to make, or told them what it would rent for, do that whole process. Then it gets rented, or the investor fixes it up and resells it. So they found the property for the investor, which is the hardest part. Then they did the underwriting for them, which is told them what to do, and then told them what it would sell for, what it would rent for. And then on the other side, did the disposition, sold the asset for them, but they were just a transaction coordinator, which is wild to me. So everybody, for the most part, in this industry knows how to do it, but there's a disconnect that they are scared to take that risk and be on the investor side, um, which I just think is a limiting belief. And no one has a better opportunity to do it than us. And when you think about the margins you can make in investing, the the increase to your net worth, the shelter that it provides for taxes, um, it does not make sense, even if you don't do it at any crazy level. You know what I mean? If you do it at a very small level from a transaction count, it still can add a substantial amount of income, net worth, and tax shelter. It doesn't make sense to me why you wouldn't do it, but a lot of times it's just a scarcity mindset of not thinking in abundance and just scared to pull the trigger.
Mhm. And when you think about expanding what we want to help accomplish, what's the easiest first steps for an agent to take to get into investing?
Well, shameless plug, but I think for I'm super passionate about this, and I've helped real estate agents, team leaders, brokerages all over the United States change their trajectory of their business by teaching them how to invest in real estate like we do. It was a big part of why I came to um, EXP, is because our CEO comes from being a real estate investor. So he understood this, and he understood how important this is to get his agents educated on going out there and becoming investors so they can change the wealth trajectory of their business and the trajectory of their business in general. So, one of the easiest ways to do this is to get involved with us so we can teach you how to do this and drastically change your business. There's no excuse, because now you've got a place in house to go learn this.
Cool. And as somebody joining, what could I expect from the program?
So it's a linear. So we're going to, no matter what education level you have as an investor, we're going to teach you from step one to step 100. So we're going to take you through and teach you how to do it at just like EXP is for real estate agents. You can build whatever business you want, how big or small or relative to what you want to do. In expand investing, we're going to teach you how to build the investment side however you want to build it. We're going to give you the blueprint. We're going to give you the SOPs, all of our vendors. We're going to plug you in directly to everything that we do. And then it's your choice of how you want to build it on your own. But we're literally going to give you a linear path that you can go out after the first session and start doing this.
And monthly, we're doing virtual calls with folks, group coaching sessions, also adding to our content library as we go. And then 3 in-person masterminds. I believe it's February 26th, May 22nd. And then we're doing one at EXPCon in Miami. That should be a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
But these are all in person. Those 3 are in person, starting February 26th in Dallas. May 22nd, we'll be back in Dallas, and then we'll go to Miami in October. I'm curious because we talk a little bit about the sort of beginner investor, but you by no means are a beginner. In fact, we have a lot of very experienced investors for those folks. At that level, what do you think the focus then shifts to?
You mean if you're a beginner? Is that your question?
Yeah, no, an experience. If you're an experienced investor, like somebody like yourself or some of the other folks that we have in the program who are experienced investors, where then does the focus become?
So, I think the great thing is when you start to get to mastery level of anything, you get in rooms to just get 1 or 2% better. Because when you're at a mastery level, 1 or 2% is massive shifts in your business. So if someone is in the middle or close to mastery and investing, you're going to come in that room and get that extra 1 or 2%. And I'll tell you, at the level that I'm playing at, which is a mastery level in a lot of things, I go sit in rooms, masterminds, coaching, the whole thing, and I may only get 1 or 2 things out of the entire day, right? Twofold. The other 99 or 98% of the time, it's reminding me of things, right, that I should be doing and that I know. So that I always appreciate that. But that 1 or 2% shift that I make, I mean, at the level I'm playing out now is massive. So those who are at that level, shout out Parker Pemberton. I think he did almost 1,300 units. He's in the program. A guy like that, I'm going to give him 1 to 2%, but that 1 to 2% is going to change his business drastically.
Yeah, when you have a portfolio of 50 million, for example, 1 to 2% is a darn good year, right? That's a really great
Absolutely,
increasing your portfolio by that much can really help, no matter what level you're at. All right.
100%.
Any final thoughts for agents thinking about getting into investing or working with investors?
So, I mean, I think that time is undefeated in real estate. When you can get in real estate and hold property, it's going to always go up. Um, you got to have a retirement plan and an exit plan in this business. Obviously, we know EXP is a great choice for us because of some of the things it allows us to do to build wealth. But I think one of the easiest paths to wealth is to own real estate, and we have a front row seat. We get rewarded from a tax code perspective to own real estate. And like, just think about the house you grew up in as a kid. What is that house worth today? That should tell you all you need to know. And stop convincing yourself of all the reasons why you can't and figure out the reasons why you can. Because when you figure out the reasons why you can, your income and net worth is going to change drastically. I said this on another call earlier today. I don't have a college education. I don't have a high school education. I was kicked out of high school. And my first year in real estate, I absolutely bombed. I was terrible. I was able to figure out all this stuff, not coming from money, not coming from anything. I'm not more intelligent than the next person. I'm just consistent. I don't take no for an answer and I find a way. Most real estate agents have that attitude. Think about all the difficult things you got to figure out in a deal and all these deals that you've gotten to the table and all these obstacles that you've had to overcome. And you're scared to overcome the biggest path to wealth in front of you, which is owning and buying real estate and being active in the real estate business. It is a false sense of reality that you're telling yourself a story that's not real. You got to get on the other side of that, and your life will change dramatically.
Yeah. My cool thing about my job is I get to be in rooms like this. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you from my perspective, because I am a real estate investor as well, nowhere near on your level. And for yet, let's just say yet, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But sitting in a room listening to not just you, not just the partners that you bring to the table for things like tax advice, which, you think about investing, but that's part of it, right? All the financing options and some of the partners that can come explain that to you. And then just the brilliance of the agents that are part of the group in the room. Just a great opportunity for you to just to learn and get a sense of who's very far above you and what that looks like, and who's just right above you and what it would look like to make that shift. That's been a great experience for me, and I hope that helps you all as well. All right, Brandon, we really appreciate it. EXPElevateCoaching.com, expand investing. We are starting up our virtual on February 13th, and then we'll do our first in-person February 26th. So you've got plenty of time. Go get signed up. And then for those of you who want to learn more about recruiting and retention, on February 11th at 3 p.m. Eastern, join us where Brendan's going to do a session for us for free on recruiting and retention. Brendan, thanks so much, man.
Thank you, brother.
All right, guys, back to you.